Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. JLR Investigates. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. We're going to talk Bryan Kohberger, Moscow, Idaho. Talk what in the world is going on at that Moscow, Idaho home. 1122 King. What is going on there? Come on in. Get yourself a cup of coffee. I'm going to show you some pictures. We're going to talk about some IGG. We're going to talk about what is going on outside the home. We got a hearing, court hearing tomorrow in Moscow. Tomorrow, a Zoom hearing with the defense, prosecution, judge, open to the public. If they want to go to the courthouse, there is a hearing. But check this out, folks. I've been looking at these pictures. I've been looking at these pictures. I've been looking at these pictures. Like, they are at the 1122 King Road address, and it looks like it is. Well, they identify, the news is saying they're FBI agents that are there. Could they be other people too? I think I saw Moscow police there in some photos. Uh, they're there doing some sort of reconstructing the home. We talked about it last night. We talked about what was going on, trying to get some more insight on what they're doing. My guy out there called me yesterday and said he was going to go check it out. I haven't heard back from him. Hopefully, I can get some my own videos and my own footage to share with all of you, so we can see exactly what they're doing in reference to reconstructing. Like, for instance, one of the photos yesterday, there was like, it looked like they had Xana's second bedroom window open. It looked like out of all the windows, they had Xana's window open, which was very interesting because we talked about who could possibly been the target in this case, right? Who was the person Kohberger was mostly going at. And some people, say other names. Some people say it's Madison or Kaylee upstairs, and some other people say it was Xana. I know that when they were looking back at that home way back in December, when those FBI agents went back with the cowboy hats, remember that in the dark time, and they went back in the cowboy hats, they were like focused on Xana's room more than anything else. So it is very, very interesting. But they are there. Let me show you some more photos that I've scooped up from other journalists that are at the scene um, in Moscow. So they're not in any vehicles there that are, says police or anything like that, but they are there. They're there. And this was a group of agents, and I'll show you some more pictures. I'm assuming they're agents. They have able to have access. This here I thought was interesting because I think it said University of Idaho, like a vehicle. They still got the porta potty there. Look at that, the trash. Um, usually FBI agents or law enforcement, federal law enforcement, a lot of times go in these undercover cars, tinted windows and whatnot. So I'm trying to figure this out because I want to see exactly what they're doing and what they gather. And will they gather more evidence there? Is this a warrant? Is this an actual warrant to do this, or is this just reconstruction? You think at this point anything in reference to this case would all have to be like ordered by the court or whatnot, or via a search warrant? The Idaho court docket doesn't say anything about it at this time, so we'll wait and see what this consists of. And here's another angle, and here's some stuff they had. Like, it looks like I'm just analyzing this, and we're doing this kind of like together. But it's like, it looks like they put a table out there, and the fence. I mean, there's a fence around the home. You can see it up there. It's still around the home. Goes all the way around. Do have a porta potty there. Reason porta potty is probably for the security person. I think it was called Devil's Security or something like that. We discussed the name of the Devil Valley or something. Devil. Usually security sits there. There was actually a blue house there at one point. Where's the blue house? Did they move the blue house? Remember there was like a blue house there? Like a security shack or whatever? I don't see that anymore. And then the windows. The windows are gone. The windows, as far as the boarding on the windows, gone. Boarding on the windows, gone. So what is this stuff? Like, what exactly is this stuff here? I see an H there. I see a toolbox. Looks like backpacks, and it looks cold there. Stuff on a table. What is this like reconstruction for? And then I see a lot of these like tripods and camera oriented things. So what could it be? Reconstruction, or is there more to it? You know, they're not obligated to tell us anything. Remember, it's an investigation. We can't even hardly get anything in this case as it is. So they could say one thing and actually do that thing and others. They could add on and do that and others. And here's a huddle group of whoever these dudes are. Agents with this case. So they look like just regular dudes. But who are they working for and what agency are they with? I swear this dude here looks familiar. I swear this guy right here looks familiar, like a Moscow PD, but I'm not sure because there's another photo of him. Let me get that photo of it straight so you can actually see. Fox Digital actually has a good photo. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is that guy, by the way? Who could that guy be? Would they have access of the home? Windows are off. Fox News is out there. Agent? So what are they up to? What are they up to on King Road? It's reconstruction? Are they planning on taking down the home? That was a theory that at that point too, is like they're back at the home because they do plan to take the home down, though the Gonzalez family saying that the home is going to stay up through the trial. So what is it? What could it be? Here's another photo. Here's another photo. Look. Notice the back hallway. That would have been, I believe, Bethany Funk's bedroom. Downstairs or maybe over there. 3 floors. Got the windows open. Leaves are piling up. 3D models? Or are they just doing 3D models? Or are they trying to preserve the house or try to give you people a virtual visual so the jury can have an understanding of the home? Windows down. I mean, this is Fox News Digital that was out there yesterday. There was a few journalists out there taking the pictures. Fence around, windows down, or boards off the windows. Notice that little satellite dish is still there. So the house is still up. It doesn't look like it's run down per se, right? There could be possible theories. I read Reddit threads. I read a lot of Reddit threads, and the Reddits are talking about different scenarios and situations. I'll just give you an example of what they say could be the reason why what they're doing. Here's someone that said something about reenactment of Dylan's statement for clarity, which is very interesting. I took some screenshots. People were asking why they were there, and this person says, I suspect they're going to reenact Dylan's statement for clarity. They could record audio from Dylan's room of commotion on the 3rd floor. Dog, there's someone here. And also from Xana's crying, I'm going to help you. I think they could be creating video evidence of walking timelines similar to a Gray Hughes video to be able to show on video how quickly BK could have moved through the house from room to room. But most importantly, the view from Dylan's room to support her claim that she was able to see BK, and notably the bushy eyebrows. Also, alternatively, the video from BK's perspective of his exit from Xana's room to prove its entirety possible he did not see Dylan due to the neon sign being in line of the vision on the way out. And that is interesting. An interesting take, right? Everyone has takes. Everyone has opinions on the matter. I'm just showing you people's theories on what they're doing in reference to like a reenactment, reconstruction. I mean, are they just going to like kind of retrace the steps of Bryan Kohberger and do some digital, like, you know, how he maneuvered around the house and showing you the different angles, because I think it is quite logical that part of Bryan Kohberger's defense will be the Dylan Mortensen seeing him or not seeing him, and then Dylan Mortensen not calling the authorities. Could they show like different? The prosecution kind of like debunk that, or just try to say that Kohberger didn't actually see her due to angles of the walls, or different locations of the room layouts and whatnot. It is definitely possible, and that could be part of this too. Back to Kohberger though. Kohberger himself, this wouldn't be going on if he didn't waive his rights. So the waiving the rights could totally backfire on him, because I can't see how what they're doing now. And some people are saying, why are they doing it now? Why are they doing it now? Prosecution doesn't have a case. Why do it now? Maybe they're just gathering more evidence. They got time. You can do that under the rules of criminal procedure while a case is proceeding. If you discover newly discovered evidence over the course before the trial, you can present that to the court. So I think they're trying to get a rock solid case on this in a virtual aspect, which is fascinating itself to me, to be able to do this. And we might see some sort of like big giant charts and like a digital house, like the jury and everything might see this house and just see this like home at different angles, and the walkthrough and the layout and everything like that, where they might not have to go to the home and see. And that's why maybe possibly can get removed. Arkansas, hi, nice to see you. It says prosecution only gets one chance. The prosecution gets one chance to prove this case. Very good point. Very, very good point. So get everything. Let's see what this comment says, because this says something interesting. I wonder if seasonality has anything to do with this. We are 2 weeks shy of 1 year since the murders, as in getting a sense of what natural lighting, darkness look like, the temperature, or how sound carried in the house at the time of the year, 4 a.m., 4:20 a.m., looks a lot different in November than, say, May or June. And that's a good point, too. That is a good point, too. FBI does this all down and says, oh, we've done this reconstruction of the home around November, similar to when the crime occurred. So this is what the area would look like. The temperature around the area would more or less be the same, different than it would be in the summertime when you gather evidence. So that could, the timing of this could be, definitely a part of this too. The anniversary is coming up. Ethan just had a birthday, by the way, the other day. Happy birthday, Ethan Chapin. He had a birthday. Praying for all the victims' families, for sure. But yeah, we are getting close to the anniversary, people. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Today's the 1st. Happy 1st, by the way. Happy November 1st. And then they said, for examples. They said examples, right? We'll see. For example, between 4 a.m. and 4:20, how dark was it when DM saw BK walk by her room? Were the bushy eyebrows easy to see in the lighting or not? It's good points. Very, very good points. Would she have been able to see a weapon in his hand? If the rumors are true that she may have scurried down to BF's room, was it too dark to see any blood coming from Xana's room? If there was any, could it be harder or easier to make out whose voices were whose, or what was said from certain points of the house due to the weather impacting how sound carried? That type of thing. This is an interesting take. It really is. Because we say, like, how come Dylan and Bethany didn't call the police or authorities, whatever, like that. What about the lighting in that house at the time? What about the lighting? And are they trying to get a reconstruction to show you exactly the lighting, the tone, the sound in that area, to give people perspective, to kind of validate why Dylan and Bethany did what they did, not being able to see, or the lighting to be able to clearly see? I mean, Kohberger's going through, she's identifying someone with bushy eyebrows. I mean, are they going to show the exact footage there as far as where her room was, and where I'm saying it's Kohberger, but where the bushy eyebrow guy walked through? Are they going to show the difference, in the distance, lighting, walls, sound? I mean, it's fascinating stuff. It's fascinating stuff of what they're going to do, and I think this is going to be the most sophisticated trial. It already was before they even did this with IgG, cast, uh, you know, uh, all types of digital footprints and cell phone technology. It's already in surveillance all over the place. It's already like a digital type of trial that we're going to see a lot of. But now this adds on to another element. Now, Dozy says something very interesting. They started this on Halloween. Is that just coincidental? Or is there something to that too? You're going back to the Moscow, Idaho home, and you're taking down a tragedy. You're taking down windows, or taking down boards and doors, boards from windows and doors on Halloween when it's spooky and scary on what's going on. That's a possibility too. But we have a court hearing tomorrow, folks. Let me just read this one last comment here. It seems like perhaps with the original trial timeline, they thought they wouldn't have enough time to do this, and possibly thought they wouldn't need it. Remember, they have photos, videos of 3D rendering with probably include audio. Now that they have essentially an open timeline, they're going to do the exhibits just in case they need them before it's demolished. Maybe to show the difference between then and now, and why they can't do a walkthrough. See? Now, here's another thing. The defense, according to news articles, the defense has already done this themselves at that Moscow home. There's articles out way back in January, and let me show you. Remember when the defense team, well, here comes from the Post. Remember when the defense team was seen right after Bryan Kohberger got arrested in Pennsylvania, seen at the crime scene? Well, the defense themselves, according to this New York Post article, and I'm going to show it to you right here, dated January 4th, 2023, Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger's parents, it says parents, hire a crime scene reconstruction expert. Now, I don't know about the parents hiring someone, because that's new to me, and this could be a mix of fake or real news, but it did come from the New York Post. This came from the New York Post, and it's still up, and it's January 4th. And it's saying this guy, the defense, remember this? They're saying the defense had hired this dude to come out to the house to do reconstruction. A forensic expert, Matthew Noedel, Noedel, owner and operator of Noedel Scientific, and his team spent 5 hours inside the home of 1122 King Road, Moscow, and this was, they were there. They were there doing, apparently, reconstruction, like computer screen froze. According to his website, Noedel's specialties include crime scene reconstruction, bloodstain pattern analysis. So, yeah, Kohberger had that shot. His people went there. But they were there. I don't know what they were there for. He claims that he has over 30 years experience in the field, provides 2 and 3D models of his findings. So here's something interesting. The prosecution did not do this then, and they're doing it now. Are they doing it to counter what the defense did back in January when the defense was already there doing this? And they spent 5 hours there. He claims to have more than 30 years experience in the field and provides 2 and 3D models of his findings when called to testify as an expert in court. The evaluation and examination of bloodstains at crime scenes is often overlooked and misunderstood. According to their website, bloodstains can exist on clothing, walls, hidden basement boards, or under carpets. Do not underestimate the significance of bloodstains. So they had their reconstruction people, or as people, come out and look at that home way back in January. I'm sure authorities back then, you would think that they would have done that type of work themselves. So what are they going back now for? And to go back now, I think they're just trying to either counter the defense, build a stronger case, combination of both. It's wild stuff. They're supposed to be out there doing this reconstruction. They're supposed to be at that home for 2 days, according to news reports. So they're out there today again. Brian Enton actually tweeted out. He tweeted this out an hour ago, 3 hours ago. I saw this tweet, and I'll show it to you. He actually tweeted out and said the FBI will be back today. The FBI will be back at the house today where 4 University of Idaho students were killed. Yesterday, we saw agents remove all the plywood and go inside with specialized imaging equipment. They also flew a drone outside the Moscow home. And you can see them, they're taking down boards. They got boards in their hand. So they're there. And this reconstruction, it's not an overnight job. I mean, the reconstruction takes a long time to do. It's not an overnight job, but they're there. And, you know, how long will they be there today? Will they be there beyond today? Here's another photo of yesterday. So they actually have these cameras. I don't know what these are. These 3D cameras. Is this the same cameras kind of like Google does when they take pictures of your home on Google Maps type of thing? And look at that. University of Idaho, which I thought was interesting. That truck there says University of Idaho. Why are they there? Are they there? Well, they own the property, don't they? They own the property. Windows down, folks. Windows off. Or boards off windows. Boards off door. But the University of Idaho is there. Who is this person? FBI agent? I don't know. Investigators set up investigators set up outside the home where the 4 college students were slain last November. The FBI plans on getting documentation to construct visual and audio exhibits. Audio exhibits. And a physical model of the home. So, audio exhibits. Sound. Maybe the dog barking. Maybe hearing something. And then, see, here's the thing. I'm gonna show you a Gonzalez family statement because they put out a statement yesterday. I'm gonna show you the statement right here. And this comes from the Carnoodle family, Jeff Carnoodle. Like I said before on this live, Carnoodle's dad, Xana's dad, the Gonzalez family and the Madison-Mogen family are all represented by Shannon Gray. I don't know both sides of the Madison-Mogen family, at least the mom's side. Jeff and the Gonzalez family statement. As the family has stressed from the beginning of this investigation, the King Road house is one of the most critical pieces of evidence in this case. We are grateful that the University of Idaho listened to the family's concerns and delayed the demolition of the home. Isn't this the whole point of not destroying evidence? You may not know if you need it until later, or it may, and then read on, it may become more important once a jury hears evidence in a case. It is our understanding that the King Road residence will not be demolished until after the trial has concluded. Very, very interesting there. So do they understand that the home is not going to be demolished now? On another note, it is important for families of the victims to stay involved in this process and trust your gut when it comes to standing up for the victims in this case. Our voices have been loud and consistent and will stay that way for Kaylee and Xana and all the victims. So they're speaking for Kaylee and Xana because it's Kaylee's dad it's Kaylee's family and Xana's dad, the dad. I'm not sure if the mother, Kara, is on board with this, and all the victims until justice. Sorry. Let me get the statement. Hold on. I got my Telegram. I'm on Telegram. Let me get. There's only one more thing too. Until justice for all the victims have been served. So, all the victims until justice has been served. So, the way their statement came out implies that they believe that the home is not going to be taken down. I'm not so sure if I agree with it because ultimately it comes down to the University of Idaho. They own the property. It was gifted to them. It was gifted to them from the company 1122 LLC, gifted it over, and they could do whatever they want. Is this virtual stuff kind of like the start where they're, once they get all the home and the reconstruct and the virtual thing, that will be sufficient enough to present to the jury, and so the jury does not have to actually go to the home and then they could tear down the home? Or will they just do both and the home stays? Now, if the Gonzalez family and Xana's dad are saying that it's their understanding that the home is not going to be taken down to the end of trial, well, Kohberger waived his right to speedy trial. So at that point, are we talking about the Moscow, Idaho home's going to sit there for a year, 2 years, 3 years? I don't think we're going any trial anytime soon. I definitely don't think it's happening in 2024. I think we're just this party's just getting started, and I say this, the party's just getting started. And there's just going to be a barrage of motions and everything like that. So I'm reading your comments as we go, but listen to this. So there is a hearing. There's a hearing scheduled tomorrow, and I saw this pop up last night. 2 motions popped up. Order setting status conference, right? And we're going to click on that. We're going to click on that, and this is very, very interesting because this was filed yesterday by the clerk, Julie Fry. It says the court orders the following: a status conference regarding the in-camera review of the IGG information will be conducted by Zoom on November 2nd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. The parties and counsel will appear via Zoom. Courtroom 3 of the Latah County Courthouse will be open to the public for those who would like to sit and listen to the scheduling conference. Judge. And he signed this on the 30th. So there is a hearing. It's open to the public. The public can go and listen to this scheduling conference, all on the record. Now, I'm wondering if this thing is going to be recorded, or if there's any media outlets that actually have the right to record what's being said, because they're going to talk, I think they're going to talk about when they're going to do the IGG stuff. And when I say the IGG stuff, there was an order, when Kohberger had court last week, there was an order that came out addressing that issue, and media outlets are saying that Bryan Kohberger's defense got a minor victory, and it's dealing with this case right here. This is State of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger, order addressing IGG DNA in order for in-camera review. And it's saying that in this case, and there's a lot of documents, and I'm not going to go all the way through it, but it says, the state has now filed a motion to prevent the disclosure of IGG information to the defense. The defense opposes the motion and filed a motion to compel requesting discovery of everything pertaining to IGG, including the family tree built by the FBI. Disclosure of information, and this is interesting here. It says, disclosure of information gathered from an IGG investigation is an issue of first impression in Idaho. The state claims that the IGG information was not used to obtain any warrant and will not be used at trial. For the reasons set below, the court finds that the defense is likely entitled to see at least some of the information from the IGG investigation, even if it will ultimately be found to have no relevance to the Kohberger's defense. However, because the court has not seen exactly what information pertaining to the use of the IGG is available, the court cannot say precisely what should and what should not be disclosed at this time. Because of this uncertainty, the court grants the state's request for an in-camera review of the IGG information. After such review, the court will enter the appropriate discovery and protective orders. So, the courts are basically saying is, we, the courts, have not seen any of the IGG yet. So we're going to hear both sides, and then the courts will see it all the IGG stuff, and then decide what of that IGG Kohberger defense can get. They're saying that he's entitled to at least some, even if it's not really relevant, or they're not even going to use it. What they said they could have at least some. what sum is that going to be? And this motion is just lays out different case laws or not. If you guys want to read this motion yourself, you can go ahead. I'm not going to bore you and waste your time. But that's similar. So that's what's happening with this scheduling conference. This is what the discussion is going to be about, the disclosure of the IGG. So I'm thinking that they're not going to actually, I don't know. I mean, is this where they're going to talk about what IGG information can be disclosed? Here's what's interesting, though. I don't think it has sensitive information because those other cases that they've had, some of them been sealed. And this case seems open. This seems open. So is this just a talk about when they're going to do an actual hearing in reference to the IGG release? Or is this where both sides lay their case down and the judge hears and decides what IGG stuff could be released in this particular hearing? It's unknown. So I don't know. But my take on the situation is, in reference to the IGG, I don't think any of it should be sealed. I think you should, unless, I don't know, really extraordinary circumstances, I think all that should be, the defense should have all that, let it be an open. I want to see it myself. I'm a proponent of openness and transparency. Release all the documents, stop these gag orders, non-dissemination orders, speak, release the info. I think the victims' families probably prefer that this case is wide open for everyone to leave their cards on the table to see what is going on. But the IGG stuff, so what IGG stuff can Kohberger get? Will they just give them just stuff that's not relevant, or some serious stuff in reference to family trees and different, the process, or maybe names of agents that did the IGG work, or the labs, or where it was taken to, specifics, really in depth. Doesn't matter. Does it help or hurt Kohberger? It might not even make a difference. So I don't see, if it doesn't make a difference, I don't see why the prosecution's trying to fight to get this stuff, not released to the defense. And then here's what's also interesting too. So this is an actual court hearing, because here's another order that was filed yesterday too. And this goes back to family members of the victims and the defendants. Immediate family members can listen to this hearing. They can listen to this hearing tomorrow. It's tomorrow, folks. 10:30 Pacific. So they can listen. So 11:30, 12:30, 1:30 Eastern. Tomorrow. There's a supposedly Zoom, we'll call it a conference. I'm saying it's a hearing. I mean, that's like a hearing, but they can attend it via Zoom. They can attend it all via Zoom. So we'll see what happens with that aspect. I'm going to be on it, and there might be some journalists at the scene. So it's like two things coming at once. Like, there's some heavy activity going on with the Kohberger. One, authorities are back at that Moscow home. And two, there's a hearing on the IGG stuff. So it's still, this case is not going kind of cold. When I say cold, kind of like boring, or we're just waiting and stuff like that. It is rocking and rolling with this case right now. And I think it's just getting started. I think we're going to see a lot of these counters and, different motions being brought. They might even, FBI agents might even go back out. Kohberger's defense at this point might counter this. Kohberger's defense might counter this move right here and say, hey, we want to go back and do our own reconstruction. So don't be surprised if that happens once they reboard up the house and Kohberger's people say, hey, we're going to go back with our team again and do our own reconstruction and everything like that. So it could happen. It could happen both ways on this. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, that's what's going on. I wanted to share some pictures. I wanted to show you, give you some take on what they could be doing there. Regardless of what it is, it's evidence. It's evidence what they're doing there. That reconstruction is evidence that will be used at Bryan Kohberger's trial. You're assuming what they're doing is not just doing it because they're doing it. They're going to most likely use this stuff against Kohberger. Yeah, what is that? I don't know what that is, but So interesting. So it's just a lot of unknowns. It's kind of eerie seeing this, right? With leaves on the ground. It's cold up there. I just looked at the weather forecast in Moscow. It's like 40s and 50s for the next 7 days. So it's wild. But I'm back in Florida. I'm covering this case extensively, covering all the cases. We'll see what gets released and whatnot. I had more photos, but I can't find them right now on this live of what's going on. Hopefully, my guy gives me some photos and videos of what's going on up there. Got somebody to the scene, but it's it's a process. This might be dragged out for a long time. This case might not go. Oh, okay. Here, let me show you. Let me just show you another. Oh man, it's on a paywall. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like sites that are on a paywall. That sucks. I was gonna show you another photo of what was going on, but can't do it today, folks. But JLR investigates. We are investigating this case. We are covering this case extensively, in depth. Whatever's the latest, we will share. Give me your take on the situation. Does this stuff help or hurt Kohberger? Will this stuff be used? What they're doing at the home, at the trial? If Bryan Kohberger could goes to trial, could this be a maneuver where they gather all this and do all this and have this big, and reconstruction thing ready to present to the jury? And Ann Taylor's kind of fearful of that, so she tries to convince Bryan Kohberger to take a plea deal, or are they fighting this thing all the way? This is a capital murder case. Bryan Kohberger would be the 8th or 9th person on death row. There's another guy, Creech, that's ready to go, but I think they stayed that, and Chad Daybell. But there's not many. There's less than 10 people facing these type of circumstances in Idaho. So it's a wild case. So this is like, if we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out. Good morning, everyone. Getting a fresh cup of coffee, going about my day, and when new information comes, I will break it all to you. Thanks for watching. You guys have a very good day back in Florida. I'll keep you updated and monitored. So cheers. Have a great day, everyone. Signing off. JLR Investigates. We will talk soon.